Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fleekazoid podcast. Today, I want to talk about having expensive energy and protecting yourself from energy vampires. And no, I don't mean like, oh my god, I will only go on a date if it is $200 to $300. No, I mean literally like every second of your life matters and you cannot just be giving it out to just motherfucking anybody. And yes, this could be your friends, this could be your family, or I don't know, somebody that you're dating. It encompasses a wide group of people. And I want to keep it open like that while I make this topic, but I will use certain examples throughout the way. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about energy vampires. Energy vampires are going to be like these people who seem like, yeah, they're your friend. They're probably helpful in some ways. They're not like overtly evil people. They don't come in a cape with fangs looking like Dracula ready to drain you. Sometimes we can even be the energy vampires, but that's another topic. One key detail that I want to make before launching into the rest of this podcast is that it's a great thing to want to surround yourself with people who are intelligent, who are driven, who are motivating, who do well for themselves. However, the key with the energy vampire here is that they're not necessarily like that themselves, nor do they actually want to put in the effort to be that way. No, they just want to find a whole bunch of people who are already like that to hopefully rub off on them in some weird, mystical, magical Disney way. Also, another preface, I take depression pretty damn seriously, okay? I do not treat that lightly. I think if you are dealing with it, it is so much more than just going to a therapist. You can have support groups online. You can find them on Facebook. You can even go on YouTube and see all the things that like people have to say about depression and how to work your way out of it or how to mitigate it and, just try to benefit your life from a solo perspective. This isn't like a pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of podcast. This is the, hey, don't let people drain you while they're not making any effort or attempt to do well on their own, okay? Like, the point will become clear throughout the podcast. So with that being said, let's get into it. So let's say you are dealing with somebody and maybe you consider them a friend or somebody that you can talk to. Like, oh my God, our relationship is so open. We can come to each other with all our problems. Except this person is coming to you with all of their problems, like paragraphs. Okay, that's a small example, but literally like one of the first signs that you're dealing with somebody like this is that you have a person in your life who treats you like a dumping ground. Like anytime they want to talk shit about someone, whether it's somebody that you know, they're sending you paragraphs on paragraphs. Also, sometimes when they have something bad going on, bam, you open up your phone, you got 20 to 50 unread text messages, and it's about something that has literally nothing to do with you. And you know what? One of the other ways that I can tell that I'm dealing with an energy vampire is when I see this situation arise in front of my face, and I go, oh, well, they must have no one to talk to. Oh, you get like a charity feeling, like you feel like you're doing a good deed by responding and replying to this type of thing. And yeah, you know what? We should be there for our friends. We should be there for the people around us. If we have some drama or some BS going on, our friends are supplemental, right? Like they're our backbone in some ways, but they're not the only resource of help that we need. And that's the difference. Like you find that these people treat you like you are the only person that they can come to. However, fun fact, they send everyone paragraphs. Everyone in their life is getting like bombarded with all of their drama at all times. I swear to God, I promise it's true. If you spend enough time around them, you'll find that they do this. They do it to the people that they date, they do it to their family, and they do it to their friends. They might even do it to their coworkers if they work a job where they get to talk to them. And the part of having expensive energy around these type of people is like, no, I'm not your dumping ground. No, I don't want to deal with all your drama. Or I don't have the energy within me to listen to you talk shit about people that I don't know. Or people that you clearly shouldn't be friends with, but you continue your friendship with them only to keep coming around and talking shit to me about them. Also, if they're doing that to them, yeah, you can get a pretty good gauge on how they're talking about you. Also, I don't know about you guys, but the second that I start feeling like I'm talking shit about a job or a person or a situation, I'm making my escape plan to get out of there. I'm not like, oh, hey, let me keep this person in my life or this job or this situation that I have no interest in being around anymore. Like clearly it's stressing me out. To me, like holding in that type of hate and holding in anger and frustration for something is way too much for me. Like that's another part of having expensive energy, right? Like I only have energy for the things that contribute to my life in ways that are positive and in ways that teach me things, or even in ways that like I don't know, I feel like I'm benefiting from. Like if I'm holding in hate and anger and frustration, that means that I'm living in this like weird dark mindset where like my focus is going on the wrong things in life. Like I need to be focusing on other things going on, like maybe a job that I want to have, or a skill that I'm trying to hone in on, or maybe like just trying to learn something new about social media, because you know how these algorithms are always changing. There's a lot of things that demand my attention mentally, and the last thing I want to do is spend it on shit talking, and these people seem to enjoy doing that. Another thing about energy vampires, they're low energy. Like crazy low energy, like in ways that you can't even fathom. Like, you know how some people, when they go through a breakup or an unfortunate situation, you know, a bad life event, and I'm not trying to shame them for that, but when they go through something like that, they're usually bedridden, they don't get up, they don't clean. Yes, it is giving borderline medical, like clinical depression. However, these people stay in bed like all day. Sorry, but that's not normal. That's not healthy. No, like get up, do something with your life, do something for your life. It's kind of like really hard to spend long periods of time with them because you're going to be the one who's like, okay, let's get up, let's go do this, like let's get moving. And they're going to be, no, I think we should do this, or like it's so hard to be around when you're like operating at level 100 and they're on -5. And you know what's the craziest thing? They think that's normal. They think that they have the right to be like at -5 around you and to keep inviting you around, and that you should just keep operating at level 100. Why are you negatively affected by them being down in the dirt and on the ground while constantly like having to deal with them not wanting to do shit? Like they think that you should just constantly be their cheerleader. No, motherfucker. Like I don't want to be around people who are insecure and sad and who have no energy. Like at least be trying to do something to get out of that, or at least be in some way like on my level. I'm so sorry. I know that pisses people off, but that's not normal. To me, this is offensive because if you know that I'm showing up in full hair and makeup, drinking all my coffee after a workout, like I set my time and energy and day aside to be there for you and to show up as my best self, and you think that like you can be like at the other end of the door opening it up, no hair, no makeup, in a towel, like barely half awake, and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, I just have to get myself ready. I just have to do what I need to do. Like, did I not spend the last 12 hours of my life preparing for this moment to come see you? And you're over here like, I don't even know, wasting my time. It's genuinely wasting my time. And it's not even about looks. It's about the fact that you didn't prepare like I did. You can constantly invite me to be around you while you're literally like in need of an actual life coach, therapy, like medical assistance. But you think that like it's normal for you to constantly bring that around me and to make me the bare brunt dealer of all of your doom and gloom and insecurity and inactivity. No, like just like how you wouldn't want to be friends with people who are only partying while you're a studious college student, like the energy's not matching, it's not lining up, the values in life are not similar. Like if I was like that, I would at least be trying to do something to medically get myself off my ass, or like to even boost myself up serotonin wise. There's something that's happening that's like a mismatch in health there. And they think that the cure to their health issues is to just surround themselves with people who are high energy, who are cheerleaders, who do the most for themselves, and hope that maybe one day that'll rub off on them. No, bitch, you're literally energetically vampire draining me, and I only have so much of it in me before I go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and pop off on your ass. The worst thing about the energy vampire is that they're very attracted to people who are secure, confident, high energy, people who are motivators, people who are like life givers. They think that they just need to keep doing that and being around those circles, and that eventually they will become that way, instead of actually doing the work that's required to be that type of individual themselves. And I'm not saying that they're total failures in life, but they're looking for people to drain. Okay, that's like the key word here. And your energy is so expensive that like if you're sitting over here and you're actually prepping and planning and putting in the work, and you're dealing with somebody who's just talking about doing the work, talking about how much they're gonna do, and then they don't do shit and they waste your time when you're around them because, you know, they're just waiting for you to put the energy and spirit and motivation in them that they don't have and they probably won't ever have because their issues are so much deeper. No, it doesn't work like that. It's honestly giving delusion, it's giving lack of empathy, and it's giving a lack of sympathy, which moves me to my next point. when you have problems around these people. These are the last type of people that you want to actually share your issues with, because if you want to take some bad advice, or you want to be dismissed, or if you want to be treated like a burden, yeah, go to these motherfuckers. You would think that because they're opening up to you every single day, sending you 50 text messages about every little inner thought, and because they share all of their problems with you, that you would be able to do something similar. No, don't even think about it. In fact, if you have one problem, okay, maybe that's being dramatic, but if you express your problems, they'll feel like, ugh, why are you bringing this to me? Well, what did you expect? Like, oh my God, your life is not that serious. You just have to XYZ. Like, they don't deliver the same energy and motivation that you're expected to give them, which is insane. But that's how you know that you're being drained by these people. And that's how you know that it's a one-sided energetic vampire relationship. Sometimes you might even have the guise of feeling like this is a person that you can open up to, but as you're trying to open up to them and tell them stories, you can feel how energetically uncomfortable it is to share with them. You can feel that they're not receptive to it, or that maybe they're not on board with it, and you're just kind of like telling the story in a way that's discombobulated, and you're even like losing the details of what's actually at the heart of your issue, because you can just feel them zoning out, or you can feel them not giving a fuck, or you can even feel the idea that like, they're about to give me some really bad advice if I finish this sentence, so maybe I should slow down and not give them all the details. Or you might even know, hey, they talk so much shit about other people, I can already imagine them using all of this information to go tell their other friends. Like in the same way that they tell me all of their friends' information, and they look for me to be the one to give them advice for what to tell their friends what to do. It is weird. And then when you finally separate from them and you guys both go on your merry ways, if you feel like, hey, they're being kind of weird, they're being kind of quiet, maybe they didn't get to drain all of the energy that they actually wanted to get from you. Like, you can tell that they're a little disappointed because they were expecting you to make the night, you to make the evening, you to make all the excitement for the day. Yeah, they're kind of like resentful of the fact that they couldn't successfully drain you. And even if they weren't successful in draining you, guess what? You still leave feeling fucking drained. You still leave feeling sad, or like you absorb their negativity. It's so weird. And the worst part is that because you know that they're the type of people who will hang around people and maintain friendships that they don't actually want to be in, they will come around for more. In fact, they never fucking leave your life fully. Like, in my experience, I've straight up unfollowed the energy vampires in my life, and they still comment and reply to my shit. Like, girl, no, go away. Or boy, because yeah, fuck boys do this too. Especially fuck boys, actually. They're the worst about it. But that's another topic. Anyways, the point of this topic is that no, you can't use me as your emotional dumping ground. No, you can't talk shit to me about people that I don't give a fuck about. I find it very concerning that the energy vampires in my life have had the absolute most to say about the people around them. Like, I've never known anybody to give that many Fs about random small creators or like random small people in their life that surround them that could either be easily cut off or people that could be ignored. Like, why? Why do they matter to you? I find that they are hypercritical about themselves. They have hyper self-judgment issues. They have a very bad inner narrative when it comes to their perception of themselves. And fun fact, did you know that therapists say that people who are self-hating are the hardest group to treat and the hardest group to manage? It's because you can't actually talk them out of being self-hating. You just have to listen to them. And no, you can't even be like, hey, I'm proud of you for doing that. Wow, that must have been really hard to do. Like, good job, good work. Because guess what? That triggers the self-hatred in them too. Oh my God, the worst thing about energy vampires is that they're expecting someone to save them. They expect their friends to save them, their family to save them, their relationships with men to save them, or, you know, it could be women saving a man. But yeah, it's kind of exploitative in a way. It's a way that doesn't take any accountability or responsibility for what they actually have to do to get to where they truly want to be, to have a level of fulfillment. Sometimes these people will even have kids to like look for meaning in their life. They'll be like, oh yeah, kid's gonna give me the meaning and purpose that I need. Yeah, you know, sometimes kids give you a reason to not game over yourself. That's true. There are people that live like that. However, no, don't have kids just so that they can be your punching bag too. Like, please. This is why we have so many fucked up people and so much trauma on this earth, because the people who need the therapy the most are the ones who are just having kids thinking that that is going to be their therapy. They're the ones who aren't even considering the mental health issues that they are passing down to the next generations. Another fun thing that I've noticed about energy vampires, they don't think they need therapy. They don't think they need to be fixed. Oh, working out or going to see a doctor for my mental health issues? Nah, I'm just gonna surround myself with people who are good energy. And the funniest thing about this is that a lot of these people end up with finessers and fronters and scammers because they're just going to whoever looks the flashiest, the loudest, the most energetic. And then they're like, oh my God, why are all these people so fucked up around me? Because you don't actually have that going for yourself, so you can't easily identify it in other people. Like eventually you can notice that in a person if you spend maybe a week or two around them, like before you fully adopt them into your life. Like, no, these people will end up doing business deals, they'll end up getting entrenched in their circles, and they won't even care about how these people have accrued their success or how they like have accrued the well-being that surrounds them. I mean, sure, they will care to the extent of, hey, how can I get this going for myself so that I can achieve that? But they won't think, hey, how has this person done this? Are they shady? Is this actually something that I want to be around? Like, if I hang out with them, will I just meet more people who are like them? They don't consider that aspect of it. They're just like, how can I make it happen for me? That's the vampire in them. So yeah, keep your energy expensive. No, you cannot use me as your cheerleader. You cannot use me as your emotional dumping ground. You cannot bombard me with all these crazy text messages. Like, if you catch yourself having to set aside 30 to 40 minutes and get a drink and a snack to reply to their messages and their problems, babe, think about what you could be doing in those 30 to 40 minutes, okay? You could have a fucking 6-pack by now if you've had somebody like this in your life doing this to you every single day for the last 6 months. And you know what? Let's graze on the topic of fuckboys, okay? If you got an energy vampire fuckboy who thinks that like, oh, well, just come over to my house and clean it and I'll give you some dick in return. Or, just listen to me complain about my job every single day and, never tell me about any of your issues or your problems. And, maybe they might sometimes actually have some decent advice to give you, because men can actually be a little bit more objective in that regard. However, if you leave their place feeling low on energy or feeling like, hey, my emotional needs aren't being met, and maybe even your physical needs aren't being met either, especially if you got a robot who can do the eat way better than he can, girl, you are being energetically drained by a fuckboy vampire. I also find fuckboy vampires to be the most trifling because if you have a full schedule, a full life, and a full routine going on, they don't give a fuck. Oh, you're at work right now? Leave work. Cancel your shift. Come see me. Come fuck me. Like, oh, you have money to make? Actually, I have a dick that's hard and it's waiting for you, babe. No, fuck you. Fuck your dick. I got a robot. If you go to college, they might try to convince you to skip class. They might even convince you to skip homework or to skip studying for a test that really fucking matters for you. No, goodbye. My energy is expensive. My time matters. I invest in myself. I care about myself. I have a healthy self-esteem, and I am very intentional and directional about where I invest my energy. So the key sign that your energy is being wasted and that your expensive energy is being exploited is that you feel like you are participating in charity. You feel like you are doing a good deed. You feel like you are being drained every time you leave this person. Maybe after you spend some time with them, you listen to sad songs. You see the world a little bit darker. You feel like you want to stay in bed all day and not do shit. You feel like you lost your creativity. You might even feel like you lost a little bit of your self-esteem. Hanging around these people is diminishing. It is truly draining. And if you keep one of these people in your life for a very long time, you'll find that they don't even improve. They stay the motherfucking same. They are unhealed and unhealthy in ways that are beyond your capacity and beyond your pay raise to actually deal with. So no, don't deal with them. But if you can't help it, if you do have people like this that you have to work around or maybe in your family, try to have healthy boundaries. You can keep some of these people in your life to the extent that they are able to respect these healthy boundaries. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't have any mental capacity for anyone else's drama, anyone else's bullshit, anyone else's problems, anything that they are not actively working on themselves, or anything that they don't have the rational, logical reasoning to separate themselves from. Like, no, do not spend more than 2 days talking shit about the same person in your life that you're not actively working on weaning away. And no, do not come to me with all of your problems like I don't have any of my own. And don't you fucking give me some bad advice, because the second that you give me bad advice, or you try to tell me to like just deal with something or just figure it out, fuck you. Fuck you so hard. Like, get the fuck out of my face. I can't even with that. Like, we're done here. That's it. That's how I know like everything about you is just a waste of my time and my precious energy. And back to the point that I made before, think of all of the energy and mental capacity you would have for your own life if you didn't deal with these people or surround yourself with these people. Also, be very aware that they love people who are high energy. They love people who can figure it out on their own most of the times because they don't have to actually help them. All they have to do is siphon off of them and hope that eventually one day their personality becomes theirs. Yeah, if you have a girlfriend in your life that's like this, she might even be a little bit of a Cassie. If you have a certain type of man that you're into, you might find that she might even start liking your type of men. She might even openly say something about how she would fuck them, date them, or deal with them as well, while openly insulting them. Because it's not actually about what she wants for herself, it's about wanting to be you. It's about wanting to have what you have because you look like you got it together. And you look like you got it figured out, and they just want to be like that too. Which, I mean, yeah, who wouldn't? But they don't want to actually do the work to figure it out. They just want to take the shortcut. So I don't know about you, but unless you went to school for psychology and you are academically trained to be a therapist, you're not a punching bag. You're not academically trained to deal with any of this shit. You're not a life coach. And you have no business dealing with people like this. From the romantic variety to the family variety to the coworker variety to the friendship variety. They're not your problem. They're not your job. Once you start to realize that you are giving a charity service and you feel like you're doing a good deed for the world by dealing with them, hey, guess what? Everybody that they surround themselves with is somebody in their eyes that they feel like they can drain. Everybody around them is out here doing charity for them. And it doesn't have to be you. So go ahead, let them go, knowing that it's not your problem. Or you know what, just start engaging in a life path that actually seems depressing and dysfunctional, or, well, actually don't engage in this, right? But I'm just trying to say that once you start to seem like you are falling apart or your life isn't going in a direction that they aspire for, they'll leave your life. They'll be like, oh, this seems sad. Like it seems like they're going backwards. Maybe I don't have this person in my life anymore. Yeah, they give fair weather energy. They don't want to be around somebody that they can't actually siphon off of. It's funny because in a way, it's giving like they think that they have expensive energy, even though they waste so much of their own. No, they don't actually have expensive energy. They're just trying to make sure that whoever is around them can rub off on them in a positive way. And if you are in this really low place, you have to watch out with them because you might just find the type of energy vampire who will try to exploit you or make you their little workhorse for like bare ass peso pennies because they know how badly you need them in your life. And look, obviously surrounding yourself with people who are positive and impactful in ways that help you grow is a good thing. But the energy vampire is out here doing it in a way to drain them. They do it because they barely have anything to contribute in that regard. They have just enough to contribute that makes you think, oh, like they aren't that bad. But it's so disproportionately, overwhelmingly outweighing it, like compared to what you give to them in ways that like you don't even realize are valuable because you think that everybody just has what you have or everybody just operates the way that you do. When no, it's actually more common to be a piece of shit who doesn't want to work on themselves and who doesn't want to do shit for themselves than it is to be somebody who actually cares about their self-betterment and their growth in life. So obviously this is a topic that has been hot on my mind and that I'm clearly passionate about because look at the way I talk about it. I'm just like, I'm fucking in this thing. I'm in here like swimwear. But I'm done. This is all I have to say for today. Keep that energy expensive. Be mindful about who's draining you. Be mindful about when you start to feel like a moment is giving charity or codependency or is just vastly disproportionate, or even when you're at a low place and you're being exploited by your energy vampire. You don't have to deal with these people. And sometimes if you do have to deal with them, employ intense boundaries. So that is today's podcast episode. I hope it was helpful and I hope you guys learned a little something or two. If you like my content and you want to support me making more of it, follow this podcast or subscribe wherever you're watching. Make sure to leave 5 stars and a positive rating, preferably. And if you want to leave a direct comment under the specific episode, you can do so on the Fleekazoid podcast official YouTube channel because it gives me feedback and I appreciate that. Also, if you want to support me in making this content monetarily, you can give me $2 of your dollars on Patreon, where I update life updates and I post whenever I upload something new. So it's a great place to follow me without all of the little clutter of my thoughts and images and random brouhaha like live stream alerts. So go check me out there. I am also on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to follow me, all over the universe, you totally can. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.